Good morning. Welcome to the Health and Wellness Program. You're listening to Maree Gifkins. So today is not going to be quite so much about the health in our physical bodies. I thought we might be able to talk about angels. That's a very nice subject and quite an interesting subject and a broad subject. So angels, why would I even want to talk about that? That's something you can't even see, can you? Well, or is it? Most people can't see them, but then some people have some experiences and they see things. So for me, angels go back a very long time. Ever since I can remember as a young child, and right up to about the age of 9, I could hear the angels singing. And so that's quite old for a child to be able to hear angelical things happening. And you might say, oh, maybe you heard it on the radio or you had CDs, but I'm from the era of there wasn't CDs, that wasn't even invented then. And I think we had one radio in the house, but Dad controlled that, and that was all about the racing and maybe the news. We're talking about before TV time, so it wasn't music that I could hear from the neighbours or anywhere else. This was actually in my head, my hearing. I could hear, and it was beautiful music. I didn't know what it was. I wasn't from a family that was a religious family. We weren't going to church every week. There wasn't singing or anything involved. We were just a plain family. And so, as a child, I didn't really know what it was I was listening to. All I remember was that it was this beautiful music that I could hear. And of course, there was other gifts that I had that I didn't know what they were. I thought everybody had them. It was like auras. I could see auras around the people, around the trees, around the animals. There was this glow around things, and I thought everybody could see that. Can't everybody see that? And I used to astral travel a lot. On my school reports, it was always, Maree is a daydreamer. She's always daydreaming. And it was always on my reports. And it was like, so that's what I thought I was doing. I was just daydreaming. But no, I was actually astral traveling, which is my astral body, which leaves your body. And like at nighttime when you dream and you go to places and you wake up and you remember it. And it seems so vivid, so real. It's usually your astral body has gone off and travelled and then come back into your physical body. If someone had got me and said, Maree, these things are fine, it's all good, go with it. But as I got a little bit older, I started to hear and understand that other people weren't seeing these things or hearing these things. So I started to think that I was a little bit crazy because there wasn't anyone else doing this stuff. And so I stopped myself from seeing auras. I stopped myself. The music sort of just started fading out about age 9. I remember getting angry. I couldn't hear the beautiful music anymore. It was just less and less, and it was harder to hear. And 9 years old now, I know, is about the age where the ego really comes in. And a lot of 9-year-olds have trouble in that age group, 8 to 10, where the ego's coming in and they're getting that real independence of, I'm not doing that, or I'm this, or I'm going to do that, and do that rebellious sort of stage. And that's that ego starting to have that full effect. And so 9-year-olds can be a little bit handful for parents, and they wonder where their lovely child went. But it's just that settling in period. And so angels have been part of my life for a very long time, and the closest kind of music I can relate to with the angels singing is the Gregorian chanting. If you've ever heard the Gregorian chanting, that's the closest I've ever been able to hear that I recall the memory from when I was a child. So I had other sort of things going on as well. I always had a vision that has always been with me. It's not something that someone told me, or it was in a story, or TV didn't come till later anyway, so there wasn't TV. And it was a vision of a little girl, about a 4-year-old girl, running down the hill out in nature. There was no fences. There was wildflowers growing, and she was as free as anything. She was running down the hill, and then she stops and she's looking at the flowers. And I realised that I was watching this girl, and this little girl was me that I was watching. And I watched her, and she bent down to look at the flowers, and she didn't pick the flower. She was looking at the petals, and she was looking at the colours in the petals, and how one colour stops and another colour starts. And it's very hard to see that line where that change is. And she knew that something had created that the perfectness of petals, the colours there. And that was what she believed in. She knew that there was a creator that had to have created this. And so that was her faith. So I've always had this vision, and I've always had this faith, this belief that there was a creator. I found out later that people called that creator God. And so it's always been with me. I've never had to question whether there is a creator or a God or some ultra being, or never had to prove it. It's just that inner knowing that's always been with me. And, you know, you don't know any different, so you sort of, well, not take it for granted, but it's always there. So, and over the years I have looked at it and went, wow, I'm so lucky to have had that strong faith, belief in myself, that I knew what was there. I didn't have to go searching for it or look for it or prove it or anything like that. It was just there. And so I always talked to God, the Creator, always talked to God from a little child, and always sensed the angels around, knew they were there. Didn't ever see one physically with my physical eyes, but I could sense them with my, what they call the third eye, that inner knowing, and sense when they were around, and always communicated with God. And so I guess I was quite fortunate and lucky, but I was alone, you know. My family didn't believe in anything like that. And I remember praying as a little child, young child, and I would pray to God every night that my family would come to know you like I know you. And I would pray it day in, day out, and eventually it happened. There was a spiritual man that came into my mum and dad's lives and introduced spirituality, religion to mum and dad. And mum and dad, they needed that at that time. And we started going to church, and then I started getting exposed to religion and church and the Bible. Had never seen that before, and started reading it. I was absolutely fascinated with it. And started studying the Bible and the scriptures and so forth, and just really, and as a young teenager, I'd sit on the bed and read the Bible. I was an odd child, very unusual, and that's made me into who I am today. And so I believe I'm very lucky and fortunate to have that strong belief and know that if I need angels, they're there, and they're there by the multitudes. And I do some beautiful healings with people. It's called the Orion healing, and that's where it really all comes out. People get a little bit tangled in their lives, and they're not sure how to untangle themselves. They're not sure if they've got into this tanglement from what's happened to them in this lifetime, or is it something that's come through from my parents, the gene pool, or has it come through from past life? Have I not forgiven somebody that I should have? It gets a bit confusing, and so that's where the Orion healing comes in, and I work on that soul and spirit of the person, and there's always wonderful miracles happening with that. And at the end of it, when we've finished the treatment, it's an hour and a half, and at the end I balance the chakras and make sure that they're flowing at their optimum level. I ask for God's unconditional love to come in and fill them as much as their physical and spiritual bodies can handle. And I ask for another 3 angels to be assigned to them. And it's a beautiful energy. The energy just shifts in the room. It goes from just an okay energy to this very light, I kind of like, it's fluffy like clouds. Very light energy when the angels are coming in, the unconditional love. And so it shifts, and the people can feel it. and they have wonderful things happening for them. And so maybe I should give you my phone number right now, shouldn't I? Everybody could do with some more angels. So my number is 0272495090. You know, and you might be a person that's, oh, I don't know whether I believe in angels. I tell you what, if you really think about it, you want to believe that there are angels. Whether you do or not remains to be seen, but you want to believe that there's something. It's like Christmas. As a kid, as a young child, you know, when you're told that Santa's not true, you still want to believe that he's there, that it's out there. And I don't know about you, but I've got a husband that loves watching the Christmas movies with the possibility of there is Santa, there is magic, there is elves, he loves the movies. And so I sit and enjoy it as well, because it's nice. It's nice to know that there's, or to believe that there's something special out there that's happening that keeps everything together. There's this glue in the universe that somehow it does work out. And so angels are a very questionable thing. You know, what is an angel? What does it look like? Is it really there to help us? Am I good enough to call an angel even? You know, and people look at me and go, oh, I couldn't do what you do. Oh, yes, you can. It's very easy. It's not hard. And I'll say to them, you know, where there's a whole lot of angels up there, and if we don't give them jobs to do, they're standing around and they're kind of unemployed, waiting for jobs. And all of a sudden they go, oh, of course. They're like unemployed. I'm doing them a favour. That's right, you're doing them a favour. They love it when you've got a job for them to do. And you know, there's different types of angels. There's angels for healing, there's angels for wellness, there's angels for happiness, there's angels for peacefulness, tranquility. There are fighting angels. Archangel Michael has a sword. You know, if you're you're worried and something's coming attacking, you get Archangel Michael in front of you for protection. So there's lots of different angels that carry different energies. Yeah, there's lots of different names for them as well. I remember I used to ask the names of angels. They must have got sick of it. And this one particular angel that came into the room, and I could feel the energy. It had a different energy to the other angels. And I said, oh, who are you? What's your name? And the angel said to me, why do you want to know? Oh, bit of a slap on the face. And I'm thinking, okay, why do I want to know? I want to know, gives you individuality. You're a being. I have a name because I like to be different to everyone else. Okay, I don't need to know your name, because it's your energy that you carry and how you can help or change the energy of something for me. I don't need to know names because I'm trying to make them out to be human or beings, people. That's not what it's about. So I stopped asking their names, because they're not separate to God. They're part of God. And so I've had a few slaps on my face at times where it's like, hang on, you're still thinking as a human. And it's like, okay, all right. So, you know, you can invoke the angels to come and be with you. Just have a nice clear space, quiet, take a couple of deep breaths in and out, relax your mind, have your phone off the hook, and you just ask, you know, maybe you're not used to praying to God, maybe you can just talk to your guardian angel. Everybody has at least one angel. Ask your guardian angel, please come in closer to me. It's as simple as that. It doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to be on your knees. You don't have to be fasting for 3 days. You don't have to have not swore for 2 days. There's no rules. They don't care. They just like to connect with us. They like to help. They like to come in close to us. So you just take a couple of deep breaths. Guardian angel, come and be with me, please. There mightn't be anything you even want. Just come and be close to me. And then you just breathe. clear your mind. Don't have expectations. Oh, I'm going to see colours, I'm going to sense it, my pain's going to go. Don't have any expectations. You just invoke the angel to come and be near you. And then thank it. Thank you for coming and being beside me. And then just breathe and enjoy the energy. Just relax. And then maybe another day you're feeling a little bit low or you have some pain. Ask the angel to come and be with you. And can you please bring a healing angel as well? I would like a healing angel to come and be with me. Why not two? One for each side of you. 2 healing angels. Come and be with me, please, and help me through this process, through this difficult time you're having. If you don't ask, you don't receive. Is that too simple? Trust me, it's all you need to do is ask. If you don't ask, you don't receive. And then just relax and enjoy. Like I said, don't have any expectations that you're going to see this or hear that, or you just allow it to be. And maybe you might see some flashing of colours going through the back of your eyes, or you might feel, sometimes angels will give you that sense that they're there, where they kind of touch your arm a little bit and it just feels like there's a fly walking on your arm, and you go to flick it off and there's no fly there. Or on your hair, you know, you feel something in your hair and you go to flick and you look and there's no fly. That's usually a touch of an angel. Or you could hear, you've asked an angel to come in, and then you hear the chimes ringing outside, you know, the chimes, and there's no wind. That's a sure sign that there's an announcement of an angel that's arrived. Or there's a creak in the house, you know, a creak in the wall, and you've just asked for an angel to come and there's a creak, you know, and it's like, oh, no, maybe that's just, it was going to happen anyway. Probably not. You just asked. So it's letting you know that it's there, it's with you. You may just have a sense of, like cotton wool, like I said before, a softening in the energy of the room. Like where I am at the moment, the energy is shifted and it's really light and soft and cotton wool feeling. Because I'm talking about them, I'm invoking them to be around, and so the energy shifts. You may feel a tingling down your arm or your leg, and it's usually just underneath the skin, and it's a nice tingling sensation, and it's just letting you know that it's around. Or you may see some colours, or if you get tingling on the top of your head, that's a sure sign that energies are coming through from above. So there's a few different ways of sensing when an angel comes into the room. So that's always good to just be still and just feel. Don't judge, just feel and acknowledge, and just breathe and relax and ask the angels to help you with your pain, or you might have tension, or you may not feel very happy inside. Ask them to take it away. Ask them to release the pain, to give you a healing. Miracles happen, and they happen every day, and they happen every minute. And if you don't ask, you don't receive. So it's been many times where I've had lots of miracles happen, and lots of sensations or feelings. Or, you know, one day I had a lady in and I was doing a healing on her. She was just reflexology, and she was pregnant, and she was probably about 6 or 7 months down the track, and I knew she was pregnant, and she was a lovely lady. And then all of a sudden I was doing reflexology and I was focused on that, and all of a sudden I sensed a presence in the room. And I checked in, and it was an angel, and it wasn't a usual angel that I knew. And I just asked, oh, what kind of angel are you? I'm a midwife angel. I was like, really? A midwife angel? Oh, I've never heard of this before, and I'd never experienced one before. This is probably going back about 12 years. And I said, oh, please tell me more. You got me curious here. I've never even read about midwife angels before. She goes, oh yes, as soon as a lady is wanting to get pregnant or is pregnant, a midwife, an angel, is assigned to the baby and the mum. Oh, that's so nice. Oh, that's so lovely. Of course, why wouldn't there be? You're looking after the baby and you're looking after mum. It's a miracle. It's special. Why wouldn't there be? You know, and I'm like, blah, 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 blah. In my mind, of course, I'm not saying it out loud. The lady would think I was crazy. And I said, oh, tell me more. How often do you come through? Oh, well, when she's, everything's all good, we only come in once a month and just check. But as she's getting closer to the time of the delivery of the baby, we come in once a week, then we come in every day, we check in, and then usually the few days before the birth, they're there all the time. And it was like, oh, that's so nice. Because I always knew when the babies are born, there are angels in the delivery room. So when the baby is coming down the canal and being born, the angels are actually singing to the baby. And that's, I remember I was in a delivery room and I could hear them. Well, no, I could really sense them, and I just knew that they were singing to the baby. So, you know, it doesn't matter whether it's a natural birth or a cesarean, the angels are there. It's a new being, it's a new miracle. And of course it is Christmas, so we have Jesus, don't we? He was born this time of the year, so we're told. And, you know, that's a miracle in itself. And he was just in a manger, nowhere special, and with the animals and the hay. And, you know, it's a nice time to start again. You know, we have had a hard year this year with COVID and changes, and we're having to adapt faster than the virus. And so it is about change and progressing and letting go of the past and bringing in the new. And so at this time of the year, it's new beginnings, being reborn, starting afresh. Let go of stuff. Let go of things that have hurt you, or somebody has said something to you, or it could be things from 20 years ago. We hold on to things from a long time ago. I'm not talking to that person. And you ask them, well, what happened 20 years ago? Oh, I can't remember, but I'm not going to talk to them. They can't even remember what happened. It's like, really? Isn't it time to let go? Let go of things, because quite often it's yourself that you're harming. The other person can't even remember what happened. So just let go. It's time to let go and create space for new things, good things. That's the purpose of letting go. It's so that you can create space within yourself for the good things, the happy times. Even if it's going and feeding the ducks. Enjoy that process. Watch the ducks fighting over the bread, squawking, flapping around in the water, gobbling up the bread. We always enjoy it. It's lovely watching the butterflies coming out now. The birds flying in the sky, the young birds that are around, puppies playing, kids playing. We can fill ourselves with so many wonderful things, but sometimes we're so full of hurts and pain and anguish that we aren't filling up with good things. So we need to make space. It's like cleaning out a house. If you've got clutter, clean out your house. You can't do it all at once. Start with one room. Clean out stuff that you don't need anymore. Let go of, free up. Clean the space, go away, have a cup of tea, whatever, come back into the room. You can feel the shift of energy. You can feel the difference between when it was all cluttered to where it's nice and clear. And that's what you're doing to your body, to your soul, your spirit, is you're letting go and cleaning out, and then you're able to hold good things. And that makes your soul happier, makes you happier. Things start to change, things start to progress. You know, so don't forget these angels, bring them in, invoke them in, and once you've done it a few times, you get the hang of it and you go, oh, well, this isn't, why didn't someone tell me about this years ago? Oh, and then you hear about maybe a neighbour up the road that's just had, I don't know, some sad news, bad news, or had to go to hospital. Send them a healing angel. Ask the angel to go and be with them. Thank you. It's done, it's done, it's done. that's the most important part, is thank you, it's done, it's done, it's done. You know, so gather some angels, send them out. Gives them jobs to do, gives them something to do. Otherwise, they're kind of like unemployed. So don't be afraid. Just start. Try. Start with a simple thing like that. Okay, so my name is Maree Gifkins. I have a clinic in Hastings and Waipakarau. I work in Hastings on Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursdays, and on Waipakarau Mondays and Fridays. I do have 2 weeks off, coming back on the 11th of January, and my phone number is 0272 495090. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.